My name's Barbara Todd. I'm a visual artist. I've worked with many materials. I studied printmaking and drawing and painting, but it was when I was 7, I started to sew. And when I was 28, I realized that I could both sew and be an artist and put the two together. So since then, the center of my practice has been using textiles. This show contains really two major bodies of work. The first is called security blankets. I started to make them, making quilts in the late 80s. It was the whole idea of war being called security. I had the opportunity to show whatever I wanted. And I struggled with that for a while, but because of the current moment in our political situation where there's a brand new arms buildup, I thought I can't not show this work. I haven't always worked with textiles in my art, and I still don't always, but it's totally the ground of my practice. I return to it again and again. Wool has, for many people, almost supernatural qualities. It's alive. Conceptually, when I started to use the suiting fabric, not surprisingly, men's wool suiting can be of very high quality. I think it would take anywhere from 2 years to even 3 months to make a quilt, depending on how clear I was in my purpose, how long it took to find materials, how long it took before that to come up with the imagery, drawing. I don't improvise. I have a plan and I follow it step by step. The actual hand stitching is an enjoyable part of the process. There's a hand eye, there's a hand body, there's the hands touching the fabric. It's just totally, totally different. I prefer to be inside the process with my whole body. When I decided that I wanted to make the Bayeux reimagined, one of the first things to do was to go and visit the original. And I was just gobsmacked when I saw the piece. And I was attracted to it initially because of the sinuous lines of the waves going across, back and forth across the English Channel. This might be a way to turn back to my earlier work and have an entirely different interpretation of war. So I decided that I would remake the war without the battles, without the people, and only to illustrate the land and the water. These two different bodies of work are two different ways of looking at or interpreting war and peace.